All right. Hello. We are live. Hey there. Thanks for joining us. This is our 10th live chat right here in Shopify Entrepreneurs, our second live chat this week. Super excited about that. So my name is Timothy Dann-Barrick. I'm the digital marketing manager here at Storetasker. If you didn't already know, Storetasker is the fastest, easiest way to get in touch with a vetted Shopify expert who can help fix your store. If this is the first time you're joining us, thanks for taking the time to watch. Be sure to leave a comment down below, especially if you have a question, and we'll get to those later. We do this each week, usually Wednesdays at 1. This week we've squeezed 2 in at the top of the week. So today we're talking about chatbots, and I've got Stephen with me. Now, Stephen is the founder of Chatbots Life, which is the second largest chatbot publication in the world. And hi, Stephen. How's it going?
Hi. How are you? So you usually call me Stefan.
Oh, so. Sorry about that, Stefan.
It's all right. It's okay. It happens. I think it depends where I am in the world. Sometimes they'll call me Stephen, sometimes Stefan.
Yeah, and then I'm never sure if it's a V or a PH or an F. We had a prime minister with the PH for a while, so I'm never sure. Anyhow, Stefan, tell us a little bit about Chatbots Life. Yeah,
absolutely. So I founded Chatbots Life a couple of months after Facebook announced that they were adding bots to Messenger. And the first time I heard about it was in December of 2015, which is one of the privileges of living in the Bay Area. You get to hear about these things first.
Yeah. You're all early adopters over there.
Right. Well, we're like innovators. I heard about it, and then I got really excited, and a few months later I created Chatbots Life. And almost right away it became very popular. I remember our third month we were at like 40,000 readers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And right now we're a little over 200K a month in eyeballs. And what happened was I started writing. I started sharing some of my ideas and some of the experiments I was doing with bots. And then a lot of companies started calling me. So we did a number of really interesting projects. We did a project with an HR company in the United States, which is one of the larger ones, where we built an HR bot for them. We built a IoT bot for a coffee manufacturer, which will literally make you a cup of coffee. Just send the machine a text message.
Nice.
Like, coffee tomorrow at 5 a.m., and it'll make you coffee at 5 a.m.
That's amazing. I need that in my life.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and dig into the meat and potatoes, because I'm really excited about this. I don't think I told you, but I was on Facebook the other day, as I often am, and yes. It popped up in my news feed. Ezra Firestone is offering some sort of training about chatbots, and he's called it the Wild West of e-commerce, and I think that's fantastic. I guess the kind of idea is that, like, there's a lot of money to be made and not a lot of people are doing it yet. And then also we don't necessarily know the rules, I think. How do you feel about that description, the Wild West?
I like it. It is kind of like the Wild West. And it's the Wild West because there are no conventions yet. And I'll give you an example. So when apps first came out, we had to learn that, having an infinite scroll was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Before, it wasn't that applicable. But with the iPhone, with the smartphones, with apps, all of a sudden, that became really applicable. Other things that became like design conventions, widely used everywhere, is like the hamburger menu, the 3 lines.
Yeah.
Right? We learned that, you could push those 3 lines and you'll see a menu. The interesting thing is that when Facebook first started doing bots, they created a little hamburger menu, just like the one we're used to seeing. Mm-hmm. And they put it inside of the Messenger bot, right on the bottom right corner or the bottom left corner. And no one was pressing it. Yeah. Which is kind of weird, because you would think that people would know it's a menu. And then Facebook realized no one was pressing it, so they did the next best thing. They created a menu that jumps up and down from the bottom of the screen. So are we in the Wild West? Yeah, because those things are still being formulated and designed, and then the people that are using bots are starting to learn how to use bots.
Yeah, for sure. I was just going to talk about that part of it, which is that, like, we don't always know. I'm thinking about myself as a consumer, someone who buys stuff online sometimes, and interacting with these bots, sometimes it's a little bit unclear what response you're going to get. Sometimes it's very evident that they're using a bot and maybe not the best way. And sometimes it's like, are you a bot or a human being? Right. So you get kind of all sorts. So for the uninitiated, let's just walk it back a little bit and say, like, what is a bot?
Great question. So I get this asked all the time.
Okay.
So a bot is any piece of software that can create inputs and outputs through language. So for example, a lot of the applications we use right now, you're putting an input by pushing a button. And then the app does something, which is the output. For the first time, we can use language as the input. So we could tell the bot to turn off the lights, right? Amazon Echo, for example, works this way. You could say, hey, play my favorite song, whatever your favorite song is, or add Tim to my calendar on Tuesday, right? For the first time, we could use conversation as an input, and then it'll create something.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, rather than having a button or like a switch like you would use to turn off the lights, you can actually just do that with language the way that humans do things.
Exactly. And that's why it's so interesting, is because for the first time, the computer operating system is a lot more like the human operating system. And we all operate on language, essentially.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm really excited to see how these have other uses outside of, Facebook and e-commerce as well, because I know that it can just like make your life so much easier. Now, you've talked before about chatbot superpowers.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us what those are?
Yeah, sure. So first, I want to give people like a top-down view of where bots are. Okay. Because we're seeing more and more bots come into the world. And if you think about it, this is kind of like how things are evolving. Right now, most content on the internet is static. It's kind of like a magazine. You go to a website, it's a lot like flipping a magazine from one page to the next, right? The problem with this is that maybe the piece of information that you really need is like on page 200 at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you experience this when you do a Google search. Like you're Googling something, it gives you like 9 or 10 links. You push on one of those links, then you're looking for this piece of information that really is what you're searching, and maybe you find it somewhere in the middle of the article.
Yeah, sure.
Bots are going to give you that information more dynamically. So you search it and it gives you an answer instead of 9 links in an article that you read. And we're seeing these things on Messenger, we're seeing them on Google, we're seeing them on Alexa, we're seeing them on Google Home, Viber, Microsoft. Microsoft recently is now introducing video bots where it literally looks like an avatar that you could talk to and they notice your emotions.
Wow.
Now, as far as how far along are we in the technology, right now we're maybe like at a 1.5 out of a 5.
Yeah.
Okay. And people think that we're at a 4 or a 5. And when I say people, I'm talking about sometimes people that come in either to use them for business or people that are just average people that are using a bot.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we've had some experiences that were confusing, right?
Sure.
So the idea of how to use a bot well is having an understanding of where it's really, really valuable, where that 1.5 is. And that's where the chatbot superpowers come in, right?
Yeah.
So what are one of those superpowers is scalable personalization, right? So just like you would open up a magazine and maybe like page 225 is the one that's interesting to you, and it's that last paragraph. It's the same as you going to like the Ralph Lauren website, right? You go to the Ralph Lauren website, you're, basically on a page that's designed for the average person, right?
Sure.
And none of us are the average person, right? So you go on there, maybe you find something you like on the homepage, maybe you don't, and maybe you bounce off. As a result, a lot of the traffic that goes on the Ralph Lauren website, maybe like 95% of it, doesn't convert, right? They don't buy, they don't give you their email address or whatever else. They don't convert.
Yeah.
What bots are starting to do is they're learning about you through language, and then they're giving you that information that most appeals to you right away. So it's the equivalency of going to the Ralph Lauren store, and the first thing you're seeing is that big, beautiful red polo with the nice pony that you've been thinking about.
The one that you really want.
The one you really want. It's like physically it would be the equivalence of you going to the mall, and you're automatically in your favorite store, and you're automatically in your favorite department, and you're automatically looking at that shirt that you've been thinking about. So this is where bots are going in terms of personalization. They're allowing big companies and little ones to personalize that experience, and this is one of those superpowers. Another way to think about it is, and we know how great email has been for e-commerce.
Yeah.
Right? Now, one of the pain points with email is that you have to respond to all those emails. Right?
For sure.
Imagine if email could be smart, if it could automatically respond based on rules, and it can engage an audience, and if it could automatically sell.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's what's so powerful about bots is just the way that you can, like, especially with an e-commerce store, like it can show you exactly what you're looking for, and it has to ask you like 6 questions, and that's about it, or not even 6 questions, maybe 3 questions. And then automatically you have the product that you want in front of you. But then also, and something that maybe people don't think about a lot is being able to use bots for content marketing.
That's right.
Yeah, getting your articles that you think people would be most interested in front of people's face.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of ways to really leverage bots for e-commerce. And it's funny, but this is one of the first use cases that I played around with.
Yeah.
Even before creating Chatbots Life. One of my friends, he does e-commerce, and he has a really successful store. And what they do is they sell mermaid blankets. And at first I was kind of laughing when he's like, "Oh," I said, "What do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I sell mermaid blankets." I'm like, "Okay." But then he showed me his numbers, and I'm like, "Oh." Yeah, it wasn't funny.
You sell a lot of mermaid blankets.
Oh yeah, he was killing it. And so I asked him, I'm like, "What's your biggest problem?" And he said, he's like, "All these mermaid blankets are coming in from China, so it takes like 20 days to deliver to the US. And I get hundreds of people asking me every week, when is my blanket coming?"
Yeah.
And they ask me on Messenger. And so I thought, well, why don't we make a bot that does that? So recently, a few months back, me and one of my co-founders, we created GoBeydond AI, which basically takes your Shopify store and it turns it into a chatbot. And what that means is it could automatically answer those questions like, when is my mermaid blanket coming?
Nice.
It'll automatically upsell. It'll automatically cross-sell. It'll automatically recover abandoned carts. And then it also, we're using Chatfuel as a partner. So you can go on Chatfuel and you can do a lot of that content marketing. So one of the things that I put together was this messenger marketing guide. I can show it to you so you can get an idea of how to really take advantage, and I'll share my screen right now, how to really take advantage of the opportunities with the bots. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, yeah.
Okay, so I'll head over here, and it's on the blog as well. So, and then I'll talk a little bit more about chatbot superpowers, because you really want to leverage these in your bot. So, So from the top of the funnel, one of the things that we've noticed is that it's a lot easier to get people to use your bot than for them to give you their email address. And it's a pretty simple reason why. It's because getting someone's email address involves them typing, which is multiple actions. Right?
Typing is hard.
And it's kind of annoying too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of that, you can just push one button and you'll be right inside of the bot. So, and I'll show you this. Let me think of a good measure. So this is what we're seeing people do now, more and more. Is they'll have a pop-up and they'll send it to Messenger, and then automatically have that person's information. And then what you want to do is you want to have an onboarding that's really good in segmenting that audience and finding out what they're interested in. Here's another way to do it, which I think is really effective. Like you give them a coupon, right? And now they come into your store and they have $10. No one wants to leave $10 on the table.
Yeah, for sure. You may as well take advantage of that.
Yeah, exactly. Then the other way people are taking advantage of it, especially in the e-commerce side, is having the Messenger plugin on the website.
Yeah,
now,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Anytime someone uses one of these, and you kind of see like, right here it says your name, right? Here it says the person's name. That's because Facebook knows who you are. So when you go on the website, it automatically recognizes you. And as soon as that person uses this bot, you can message them in the future.
Yeah, that's actually really perfect, and I like how it's like email marketing but without the email. Like I, as a consumer, would 100% be more likely to sign up for some bot and get some messages that way than to give out my email. I don't give my email to anyone. So,
and a lot of people feel that way. It's also like for me personally, I'm so annoyed with email because I looked in my email box earlier and I have something like 900 emails.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I going to do? Sit there and look at all of them? I'm not, right? Now the key to getting this right on the top of your funnel is having a goal and having a very specific flow that you want to take them down, a path. And that path has to do two things. One, it has to meet their goals, okay? It also has to meet your goals and has to outperform whatever you're already doing. So it can't be a haphazard experience. It has to be a very directed experience. Otherwise, the person playing with your bot or using your bot will get lost, and they'll start asking questions, and they'll start thinking that this is a 4 out of 5 in terms of like language ability, which AI is not there yet. You know, AI is really good in certain ways, but it's not like the movie Her. You know.
Yeah.
Now you asked earlier about optimizing your content marketing, right?
Yeah.
So in content, like there's like 3 main stages, right? There's the awareness stage, consideration, and the decision stage. And a lot of content marketers create blog articles that correspond to each stage.
Yeah.
Right? And usually, like at the end of the blog article, there's going to be some kind of call to action to take you from one stage to the next. So you're going from like awareness to consideration, and then the consideration articles are going to try to take you to decision, right? So what you can do is you can use a bot for the next phase. So Bot Academy does this really well. They take your information, they know that you're in the awareness stage, and now, and you've seen this on blog posts where it says 3 recommended articles.
Mm-hmm.
One of those could be a link to your bot that opens up that article within the chatbot. So it goes to a very specific part of the bot, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as someone goes into that specific part of the bot, you can tag that person as being in the consideration stage, right? Nice. And then you can create a sequence where they get a bunch of consideration stage messages or articles or whatever content corresponds, and then you take them to decision. So in this way, And here's kind of like a visual example of it.
Yeah, is each of those an article, or what's the different strategy behind each phase?
Each phase. So within outside of the bot, your awareness stages are all the same as they normally are.
Okay.
The only difference, like here's your article, right? Get to the bottom of your sore throat. Now someone's reading this article, right? You want to know why they have a sore throat, and now you want to help them make a decision, or you want them to have come to an evaluation, a consideration stage, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe what you do with the bot is you create a quiz, the sore throat quiz. Okay. Now someone pushes your like little take the sore throat quiz. They're in your bot and they take the sore throat quiz, and at the end of that quiz, you give them some sort of an answer. Yes, you have a sore throat, right? Now comes the decision part where they have to decide what they're gonna. Now they know they have a sore throat, right? Now they have to weigh their options, and maybe the bot follows up and says, "Hey, would you like some home remedies on curing your sore throat?" Right?
Sure.
And you say yes, and now maybe you give them 3 or 4 things. And of course, nothing is free in this world. Whether you're buying honey or chamomile tea, or you're buying NyQuil or Dayquil, it in essence all leads to a purchase. So by using this sort of strategy, we're taking someone from, hey, I have a sore throat, fever, and I'm itchy, or what's wrong with me, mm-hmm. to yes, I definitely have a sore throat, through, yes, this is the solution to my sore throat, and this bot just helped me make that discernment that I have a sore throat, and then it gave me a solution to the problem.
Yeah, it's like full circle. This is everything you want. It gets you the product that you need right away. Although, I don't know if I'm going to wait on shipping for
20 days.
Sore throat. Yeah, I mean that could be a little bit long, but I like the analogy, and it works for a lot of things. Just a quick shout out to our buddy Sean Parker, who's watching us now. I just saw that on my feed. It popped up, and I thought I'd share that. If you have a question, Sean, be sure to pop that down in the comments. So then we talked about like upsells and downsells too. Are we getting? Yes. Yeah, tell me more about that.
Okay, so the things that we talked about so far were top of the funnel, and then in the middle of the funnel, right? And then the bot. One of the places where bots are really starting to excel is the bottom of the funnel. Okay? And they're starting to excel because of this. So I'll show you. This is a guy selling Ninja posters. And whenever you add something to cart, it'll automatically, and they have this is a checkbox plugin for Messenger. And when it's checkboxed, we automatically get that person's information as soon as they push the add to cart button. Okay? Now, what we do in the back end is we track to see whether he purchased the item or not. If he purchased the item, this person will get a receipt. And then we'll follow up with them and say, hey, do you want shipping notifications or shipping updates? Nice. Okay? And then we'll send them an upsell. What goes really good with the Ninja poster? 2 Ninja posters. Whatever.
Yeah, just what we've always wanted.
That's what you've always wanted. Whatever the next thing is, right?
Yeah. Like I don't know, Spider-Man poster.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't buy the Ninja poster, you could send them an abandoned cart message. Say, hey, we realized that you put, this Ninja poster in your cart, but you forgot it, or you forgot something behind. The wording doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And we send them that abandoned cart. And again, this is a lot easier than someone giving you their email address, especially when they're not thinking about buying it. When they're like lukewarm on buying it, this is more effective.
Well, yeah, and I mean the thing about abandoned cart is that you have to have someone's email to send them an abandoned cart message. But if they're already checked in on Messenger, then you don't have to have that information. Like it's less of a barrier, I think, to entering that flow where a business can make connections with people.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And that's the idea, is that because of this, we're seeing an uptick in a lot of the customers that use this feature in our tests. That's pretty significant, 7 to 14% uptick.
Yeah.
Just from this. And then the other thing that we're putting in here is reviews. So once we know that someone's purchased an item from your store, what would be better than asking that person that just received it on the day they received it or the day after for a review? So that's another way that we're using Messenger.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think you told me once about AR, augmented reality, and I'm really excited about this because this is one of the new features that was unveiled at Shopify Unite. Is this functionality that allows merchants to kind of AR their products, whatever that means, and then allow customers to kind of put products like in an outfit together, or just see it kind of in real life but not real life. Like, how are you using that technology in bots?
Yeah, so Facebook just released this feature, right? And basically the idea of it is that you can try things and have an experience with them before you buy them. They did this experiment with Kia Motors. They also did this experiment with what was their name? Sephora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so for Sephora, the example's perfect because you go to the Sephora bot and literally you can try on different shades of lipstick through this AR feature. So I think for certain use cases, it's absolutely brilliant. If you're, let's say, selling sunglasses on Shopify, people could kind of try your sunglasses on before they buy them.
I'm intrigued by this Kia example. Like, was it virtual reality, like you're like in the driver's seat driving, or was it just like take a picture of your parking spot and we'll put a picture of a car right in there? How did that work? I don't know if you know anymore.
So let me stop my share and I'll pull up an image while we talk.
Sure.
Basically, the way they're doing it is they're letting you have the experience of having a Kia in your driveway.
Okay.
So I was at the F8. I took this image. I took this picture. Let me share it with you.
Hello, Stefan.
Hi. Sorry about that.
No worries. Let me just pull your video in. There we go. Back up and running.
Yeah, back up and running. Yeah, we had a technical glitch of it appeared.
Did you find that photo?
Yeah, I did. So let me share it real quick.
Yeah.
So, and this was at F8. So the idea here is that you can put a Kia in your driveway and you could see what that experience looks and feels like.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. And so I was doing this as I was on the Caltrain going back up to SF. And so I was putting a car like this, in the middle of the street. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is nice. And I think this is really powerful technology for merchants, especially smaller merchants, because this is a feature that, even larger e-commerce stores are just starting to check out and to make available. So
that's right.
If we saw tons of like purse makers and other clothing designers who were doing that and testing the feature at Unite, which was awesome. So I was saying that I think that we were pretty close to the end of our chat anyways. Have I missed anything?
I can share a couple of more things with you real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll show you a little bit more about GoBeydond, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So we are what I would consider the most complete bot because we do customer service, upselling, downselling, marketing, and you can come to GoBeydond AI to learn more. And then if you want to check out any of our tutorials, the Facebook Messenger marketing guide is really, really good. It'll give you all the things that are most important. And then also our bot is on Chatfuel.
Okay.
We're one of the partners, and it's right here in their brand new template store. You can also preview it here if you want to see what that experience is like. You can use the template. And of course, we're also on Shopify. So it's fairly new, and we're adding a lot of features. One of the things that I think would be really cool is if your audience and some of the people in the community gave us feedback and told us some of the things they really want to see in it and what their experience is. That would be great because we want to make it, the best it can be.
Yeah, sure. That makes a lot of sense. And we'll have those links down below in the comments for everyone. So as we wrap up here, I just wanted to say that if you have a Shopify related question, something that you want Stefan to answer, or that just a general question, you can email me directly at hello@storetasker.com, and I will definitely pass anything on to Stefan. Also, I'll put below the link to our newsletter so that you don't miss future chats. And this is going to be up on YouTube in a bit. And you can, if you are watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you are not, you can go to YouTube right now and check out all of our past chats. If you want to boost your sales and improve your Shopify store, post an ad on Storetasker and be chatting with a vetted Shopify expert in minutes. And Stefan, what is the best and easiest way for people to reach out to you to get some chatbot help?
You can email me, Stefan at GoBeydond.ai, or team at GoBeydond.ai. Okay. Also, you can message me on Messenger. That's probably the easiest.
Of course.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this chat with me. I thought it was really great, and I really look forward to having you on again sometime.
Yeah, likewise. I think as this thing evolves, it'll get even better, even more interesting. Yeah. And if your community starts having more questions about bots, I'd love to answer them.
Awesome. Well, I will keep you up to date with those. So, all right. Take care.
Oh, you too. Thank you, Tim. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.